what the hell was Scott eating all last segment? He was just stuffing his face with something.
Clearly you're a TV viewer, Scott.
What were you eating, freak?
Planters peanuts.
Planters? Oh, that's the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's the...
What, are you being paid?
Is that the
you
peanut?
You just said peanuts.
Is that the peanut with the monocle and the hat?
It is.
Yeah.
I like the classy peanut.
Uh-huh.
Do you refer to him as Senor Peanut? Oh, hey, by the way, speaking of which, what is this story about the Mexican flag being projected on the Capitol for Mexican Independence Day?
I didn't know it was Mexican Independence Day until Scott sent me a text last night because you were at the Capitol?
I was there, yeah, at the event. I was there for the food, not the event per se.
Looked like a big event, like streets shut down and everything.
They closed down 10th Street on the west steps of the Capitol.
I see that's interesting. Like I had no idea that there was even Mexican Independence Day. And it's a big deal, I guess. And they got a Mexican flag on the Capitol, or the Capitol's been torn down and replaced with a hacienda? I don't know exactly what's going on.
Pueblo. I don't know either, but I find that very, very odd. And panderific. And the great thing is it's not pandering to people with a Mexican heritage so much as pandering to people who identify themselves as Mexicans. And that's their primary identity. Speaking of identity dysphoria, you live in America, you're an American, your identity's American.
Last call, you can call about anything, 1-866-331-TALK, 1-866-331-TALK.
Sir?
I can tell you this about the event last night, that I was not paying any attention to the ceremonies going on at the stage, where the flag may or may not have been, I don't know. But I do know that they sang the national anthem. That was the only thing I understood in English. Everything else was in Spanish.
That's
everything.
Nice touch.
While I was waiting in line for tacos, waiting in line for over 40 minutes, finally gave up and gave my ticket to another guy standing in line and said, "Here, I can't wait any longer. I got to go." Said, "Here, take my tacos."
You should have shouted, "Andale, andale!"
Seriously. But a guy in a purple SEIU t-shirt is walking up to everyone, asking them to register to vote for the Democratic Party. And he's talking in Spanish, not a lick of English.
Wow. Well, you know what? It's a peaceful reconquering of a territory. You know what's really interesting, and I won't bore you, but in the wake, really, of all the Stonewall Jackson talk, there's more latitude, evidently, these days. No, I'm kidding. I love that stuff. I could talk about it all day. Fabulous lecture series I'm listening to with Dr. Professor J. Rufus Fears, University of Oklahoma, talking about empires throughout history, how they rose, how they fall, the lessons from history through the United States. It's hours and hours and hours and hours of lectures. Absolutely wonderful. He does a wonderful job of discussing something I've never heard anywhere else, and that is the very stark and incredibly significant differences in views of freedom and government in the England of the 16th through 19th centuries. Well, really 15th through 18th are the pivotal time. And Spain. And how the legacy of British freedom and common law was transferred to the United States, whereas the Spanish conception of freedom relating to the government, etc., was transferred to Mexico. And that those two countries could not have had more stark differences among European powers than they did. And it really informs how we as Americans look at freedom in the government and how Mexicans look at freedom in the government. And there's a direct line between that and the reasonably functional, I know it's kind of an unfortunate time to be talking about this, the reasonably functional United States government and the completely inept, corrupt horror that is the Mexican government. And so, as I look at Mexicans flooding across the border, bringing their cultural norms, man, that makes a difference.
I've told this story 100 times. The cab driver picked me up at the hotel in Mexico City to take me down to the pyramids down south of Mexico City, which are absolutely amazing. Bigger than the pyramids in Egypt. I don't know. They don't get the attention for some reason. He was giving a little speech, and he said the Spanish gave us three things that we still have today in Mexico. They gave us our language, our religion, and corruption. It's just the culture.
Yeah.
That is the culture. The language and the religion, Spanish and Catholic, and corruption.
Hamburgers and sitcoms are not culture. Culture is how we do things around here, and it encompasses everything.